So let's talk about a question that sounds simple but can be really uncomfortable. What's your dream? Not your job title, not your 5-year plan, but the thing you actually want your life to be about. Simon Squibb's book, What's Your Dream? Find Your Passion, Love Your Work, Build a Richer Life, is basically a wake-up call for people who feel stuck on a path that doesn't really belong to them. Let's walk through what the book is really saying, how it's structured, and what you're supposed to do with it. Part 1. Why Dreams Matter. Simon starts by arguing that most of us have been trained out of dreaming. From school onwards, the script is, get good grades, get a safe job, chase stability, don't rock the boat. Over time, that makes be realistic code for don't chase what you truly care about. The problem, he says, is that when you ignore your real dream, you don't just lose excitement, you lose a sense of direction, and you end up living inside someone else's idea of success. So for Simon, a dream is not a fluffy wish. It's more like a compass, a clear, meaningful vision that tells you what to aim your time, energy, and work at. Money, status, or job titles might be part of the picture, but the dream is about building a life that actually feels worth living to you, not your parents, your boss, or society. Part 2. Simon's story and the permission myth. To make this real, he uses his own backstory. Simon was homeless as a teenager, lost his father young, and didn't have a safety net. He eventually built and sold a multi-million-pound business and later became an investor and creator who now spends his time helping others start. The point of that story is not, look how special I am, but almost the opposite. If someone with no money, no contacts, and no formal plan can build something meaningful, then lack of resources isn't the real barrier. The real barrier is waiting for permission, waiting until you feel ready, qualified, or guaranteed not to fail. Simon pushes a hard line here. Nobody is coming to hand you your dream. That's supposed to be uncomfortable, but empowering. The moment you accept that, you also accept that you are allowed to start from exactly where you are, with exactly what you've got, and learn the rest on the way. Part 3. Finding your real dream. A big chunk of the book is about separating fake dreams from real ones. A fake dream is usually second-hand. Something you picked up from parents, culture, or social media, like, I should be a doctor, or I should want a corporate career, or I should want a big house, even if those things leave you cold. To get the real thing, Simon gives you a set of reflective questions and what he calls 7 steps to unlocking your purpose. The core ideas are, look at what you can't stop thinking about. What you'd do even if nobody paid you. Look at your pain. The hardships or injustices you've lived through often point toward the problems you want to solve. And look at your energy, the tasks that make you feel more alive instead of drained. The book frames your dream at the intersection of 3 things: what lights you up, the value you can offer others, and the kind of life you want day to day, not just in some distant future. It's very clear that the dream doesn't have to be entrepreneurship, but for Simon, building a business around your passion is one of the most powerful ways to live it. Part 4. Myths, Fears, and the Staircase of Stuck. Once you have some idea of your dream, the book switches into myth-busting mode. Simon dismantles a bunch of common beliefs that quietly keep people stuck, like, I need money to start. He argues that you usually need creativity, relationships, and small experiments more than big capital at the beginning. I'm not ready yet. That ready feeling never arrives. You get ready by starting. What if I fail? Failure is treated as data, not a verdict on who you are. One of his metaphors is the staircase of stuck, where each step is a familiar excuse. No time, no money, no idea, no confidence, wrong timing, and so on. He walks through how each of these is mostly a mental construct and shows examples of people who moved anyway, with imperfect situations and lots of unanswered questions. The emotional core here is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of risk, fear of looking stupid. Simon doesn't pretend fear disappears. He frames courage as moving with fear instead of waiting for it to vanish, and building confidence by doing tiny, scary things repeatedly. Part 5. From Dreaming to Doing. The last big theme is turning all of this into action. The book positions itself as a step-by-step guide, especially for young or first-time entrepreneurs, but the principles work for any dream. The key moves are: get specific. Write the dream down and turn it into a clear, simple statement you can actually evaluate your choices against. Start small. Instead of waiting to quit your job and go all in, run tiny experiments, a side project, a pilot offer, a test product, a small audience. Plan, but hold the plan lightly. Expect the path to zigzag and treat changes as adjustments, not proof you were wrong to start. Build your circle. Seek brilliant people, mentors, peers, and communities who believe in you and challenge you instead of dragging you back to the safe option. He also talks about knowing when to let things go, projects, jobs, or even businesses, so you can start again closer to your real dream instead of clinging to something that no longer fits. The message is that persistence matters, but persisting in the wrong thing out of fear is just another form of being stuck. Closing, the book's core takeaway. So, if you had to boil What's Your Dream down to what Simon actually wants you to walk away with, it's this. Your dream is not a luxury, it's a responsibility. You're supposed to name it clearly, challenge the myths and fears that keep you on the staircase of stuck, and take small, consistent, slightly scary steps toward it, even if you have no money, no connections, and no perfect plan yet. In other words, the book is a push to stop outsourcing your life to other people's expectations and to start building a richer, more meaningful life around the thing that actually matters most to you.